to gather data and come back. Yeah, we would do the processing and all that, but it was just going on for projects, so that at the end of one project, the data, the information there will be stored somewhere. Then onto the next project, we take another one, go for new data, and have it there like that. But at a point, I think we all realize that it would be good to have a way to harmonize all the data we have, so that with the various divisions in highways, we can have a common scenario view to know what is happening, how is this division's work affecting this other division, the data you have from your field work, how does it feed into my work, how are we going to make sure that we will enhance our productivity, so that maybe the time spent in going to gather field data, or our ability to make good predictions for what could happen, how a road should be designed, what capacity it should hold and all that. I think we really realize the need for us to have this more dynamic thing that we are working on. A typical example was the days of High Five and now Facebook, how Facebook has really been able to show us that we can really do a lot if we have a system which can easily accept, reject, do some manipulations here and there to see how best you can get the intended results. Why we were set up. Facebook was set up as a social system, but we are there and we are established as an authority to ensure that we have a good trunk road system in Ghana. So I think we are on course. And those of us who have been to our head office, you will see that we call ourselves, our office is called the Hall of Technology. It's true, we are. And we are on it, and we are doing our best every now and then, as I said, to make sure that we get to achieve what we want to achieve. After everything, we realized that it's only geospatial technology which could help us. For every road project that we see, it begins from the field. It begins with the collecting of data. And such data are always from geographic environments. So at the end of the day, we could not just say that we want to have an IT system to integrate. I know there are many IT systems which could do things for data integration, but with our kind of work, we had to go the geospatial way, and so far so good. We are making some progress. GHA itself is a big organization. Those of us who know us know that we are in every region in the country. Currently, we have 16 regions, and we have offices in every region. And we have activities going on day in, day out. We have a very wide scope of activities that we have to be attending to. And as such, we are involved with regular data acquisition. We are involved with processing, storage, manipulation, and retrieval at various levels. We actually have 8 key divisions which work with spatial data. Whatever they do has to do with information from the ground. And as such, we are really into this geospatial thing. And it's true we've had the years of the static time, but now things are changing, and we are hoping to make some progress. For those of us who might be into road constructions and its activities, we will be interested to see a real-time simulation of traffic data for any pavement. Maybe we want to expand a road. Maybe we want to rehabilitate a road. Maybe we want to, see what we should do. Should we put a zebra, a pedestrian crossing here? Should we put a footbridge here? Should we do that? In as much as we have them during our design stages, we go to the ground and gather data. After some years, it will be best, and we are on it now. There are things we are doing now where we integrate data from some years back, use a time slider, and we can have a real visual interpretation of what's happening with respect to the traffic information. I think we are all aware that the number of vehicles in the country seems to be increasing day in, day out. A road is expanded more today, and in just about 6 months' time, we are still finding congestions in there. We will construct a new road which used to see very little more traffic, and in about maybe 1 year or so, we will be having congestions here and there. I'm sure those of us who are from here and will be going home around Adenta and those areas, we are going to go through a lot of traffic jam. And I think this is what Highways is trying to achieve, where we will have good data or simulation so that we can make real, see it in the reality and be able to make good predictions and build roads to match the situation on the ground. We also do what we call condition scores of roads, where we go around periodically to assess how our roads are faring and all that. Now, at the end of it all, we have charts that we present to the authorities, to the politicians and all that. Now, we are now building a system where we can present this kind of information to them in very pictorial forms so that they can understand and listen to us when we talk about what we need, maybe the funding and all that, that we need to ensure that we do our work well. Now, when it comes to our contractors, Highways is just an authority overseeing road construction. We also maintain and all that. But, in order to be efficient, we are there to protect our fellow Ghanaians. So if we give out any contract and the contractors bring their bills, especially when it comes to the haulages and all that, we are building a system where we will know what materials exist in every location. We will know what volumes exist. We will know after each project what is left, so that we are building a system where we know what is happening on ground without having to go and follow the contractor every now and then, so that when you bring in the bills, or if we have to instruct you, we will be well informed to tell you that you can have this material here and the distance will be shorter, or you can have this kind of thing here, so you can go here and all that. So that whenever there is any change, I mean, we just want to make well-informed decisions, so that as we are there as public servants, we are serving you, the contractor, and we are serving the average Ghanaian who has entrusted us with a job. Yes, as I've already said, we are really adopting new and faster methods of data capture. Recently, we've had presentations by drone companies, and we are on it. We are trying to bring in ways that we can work on quite some long segments of road within the shortest possible time. What we are doing now is deploying humans to go to site and all that, and it comes with all the risks and all that. We've had issues of road accidents where some of our staff have been injured, and it's not the best. So now we are really on a wild move. We are in the processes of acquiring these drones and the other stuff. As for the handheld GIS, PDAs and all that, we have them now, and our road area managers now use them to map whatever what defects we see on the road and all that. So those of us, maybe here in Accra, you might not appreciate, but those in the other parts of Ghana, now whenever there is any major defect which needs to be fixed, within the shortest time, we are made aware at the head office. Whenever there's a mud slide and all that, at Ebri especially and all that, we have people there on ground who quickly send us information, and we have our internal systems that we use to check and really plan what we have to do. Yes, I think another issue, lots of paper. Anyone who has been to our offices knows that we have lots of paper. We print, and at the end of the day, at the end of the projects, they are stored in some storerooms, and we have to burn them after a while, and sometimes it's just a whole lot of unnecessary work. So now we are limiting our printing. Computerization is ongoing. Our MIS department is really working with us. That's the geospatial part, and we are trying to limit our printing to things which really matter. Things which really matter, not things which just have to be viewed and discarded. So if you come now to highways, every staff has a domain, a specific URL where you are able to enter your drive and have access to information which matters to you and all that. It's a really ambitious thing we are doing, and as I've already spoken about the availability of materials for the construction, that's also ongoing, and the increasing cost overruns, that also needs to be checked. And with what we are doing now, when we are coming out with an estimate for a project, because of this GIS we have now, we are able to make well-informed predictions and estimates, so that we don't give out a project at maybe $1 million, and because we did not know what was going on the ground, or we didn't have enough information. At the end of it, we'll be hovering around $5 million, and we have to explain and all that. Yeah. The way forward, gadgets. Now, not to bore you with some of the stuff we are up to, but mainly, let me just show you some of the stuff that we have done. Yes. Our main plan, our main strategy is to have gadgets. When I say gadgets, that's the GHA GIS into 4 main areas. That's the gadgets desktop, where we have every spatial data accessible on a domain, where each person has a drive, a URL, where you can go in and have information wherever you are. We also have the gadgets online, which we are really making use of, and that one we have to appreciate Esri. We are using the ArcGIS online, where right now our bosses, our staff, everyone who is involved in any project can know what is happening for any road. You can go to any road that you are on, and you will see what's happening there. I will show you some samples. And we also have a Gadget Mobile. That's an extension of the Gadgets Online, where what you have there what can be viewed on your phone. Yes. And the Gadgets Commercial. We are building a system where people who want things from us, those who want to apply for right-of-ways, those who want to buy some of our maps and all that, can do everything online without having to come to the office. Yes, this is a sample of the road network for Accra, where when you click, you just get information of the road segments that you are interested in. This is a traffic count data for somewhere in the Upper West region, and we've modeled it to show what's happening. I think we can meet afterwards and I explain what's going on there. This also one thing we did. That's the where we had to use geospatial analysis to solve issues that we're having with the urban roads, and all this was made possible through gadgets. And yeah, the same thing here. Then also with our environmental units, where we do EIAs, ESIAs, SEAs, and all that for road projects. With gadgets, we are able to have first-hand information on what's going on the ground even before we go there, and we know what exactly to look out for, so that an area like this for the Dambai to Tupene, where we were able to have an idea of the geology of the place. This has to do with the land use. So when it happens this way, when we go on the ground, we just focus on those ones that maybe due to cloud cover, we were not able to see well. We just go and do a ground truthing, and we will quickly do our job. So something that would have maybe taken about 1 month at first, now we can just go, and in a week we are back. Now this is Data Gadgets Online. It's quite interactive. We are enabling people, our staff, to be able to view everything they want to see about GHA online. If you are also a consultant or whatever, and we have to work with you, we can easily give you the link and you see whatever is there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ernest Ekuban. I'm afraid we are really running out of time, so I'll take a few questions from the crowd. Unfortunately, our Q&A session will not be 15 minutes. Need to reduce it. Anyone who has a question, please raise your hand. I will start with the man with a black jacket. Please take the microphone that is behind you on the stairs.
Thank you very much, presenters. I think I want to take my question this way for the three presenters. How open is your geospatial? How open is your geospatial? As in terms of technology, in terms of data, and if it is open, to what extent do you involve an inclusive community with respect to involving the youth or involving the women? And then just like the last speaker was addressing the use of GIS for highway, you know that some of our highway crosses some agricultural or farmlands. How do you involve the farmers in decision making, especially using the GIS? I want you to address that area as well. Thank you very much.
So I believe there's a microphone on one of the coffee tables. Anyone who would want to answer this question, please take it away.
Okay, is this working? Okay. So I think the gentleman was asking a few questions there. Openness, open data, open standards, and then a second question about engaging users. So I can give a perspective from the UK around open data. So the UK government set a very stringent open data policy back in 2010, I think it was, driven by Tim Berners-Lee and the UK government at the time. So as a result of that, we released a lot of our data as open data. So at no charge, completely free, you can do what you like with it, 10 data sets from the street level and smaller scale. And as part of that initiative, we built an incubator hub, a developer hub where subject matter developers, innovators could come along and use that data and develop applications for the wider community. So we took an open data stance back in 2010 and released 10 data sets. And also during my talk, you would have heard we subscribe to the notion of open standards. So being part of the Open Geospatial Consortium, we really do promote the use of open standards in everything we do, so that users enter a notion of being interoperable for the future and not particularly wedded to one particular system. So we're very open with our standards approach as well. In terms of engaging our users, we have an agreement with the UK government which allows access for all our digital data to all of the UK government, including the agricultural policy makers. So as one example, as part of our European Union obligations around farmer subsidies, we engaged the farmers across the nation to design a GIS interface that they could then record their parcels of land that they wanted to submit to the European Union for the European subsidy program. So our ethos in Ordnance Survey is we always start with the users. Everything that we do is driven by the user and driven by our geospatial clients.
Thank you very much. I believe the second question was addressed to Mr. Ernest Ekuban. Yes, I believe, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Now, in highways, the first thing we do before we do any road construction or we build any new road is to ensure that we do a proper assessment and be sure that it is going to serve the needs of the people. So we hit the ground and try to do like a research, talk to the people. Because you see, as for the roads we need to be constructed, there are many. when you fly over Ghana, you see that there are many, many untarred roads, many undeveloped roads and all that. But at the end of the day, for every city we spend, we go through every extent to make sure that it is going to serve the majority of the people who are going to be within that area. So if we come to a community and they are farmers, they are into agric, we will definitely have an interaction with them and be sure that the route we choose will serve the most interest. Right, thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest Akuban. Any other question? Okay, the man in Kente. Please join the lady out there. I will take the first question from the lady since she's already behind the microphone. And then for the last question of the day, I will give it to the man. Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you.
Kindly
All right, my
get closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Mine is about mapping because I am very curious and worried because I know that considering the fact that it's not the fact that most African towns or cities are not properly planned. At times I worry, this mapping thing, are we ever going to get it right? Or are there things we ought to put in place to be able to do proper mapping of our cities and towns? Because these few days I've boarded Ubers, boats, and what have you. The last time I checked, we got to a point where it was like, turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left. I just laughed because it's worrisome because I know, like I said, our cities are not properly planned. So are we ever going to get the mapping thing right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Just to sum it up, I believe she's talking about the accuracy of mapping, which is sometimes very, very off in some areas, and asking how you can improve that.
Okay. If I would speak for the Ghana Highways, for us, we employ only professionals in doing the work, and as we speak now, every surveyor engaged by the Ghana Highways Authority is a member of the Ghana Institute of Engineers and surveyors, and we have regular training, strict standards. I mean, we are dealing with data which just 1 centimeter off could amount to about $1 million. So we are very careful with what we do. So for us, when it comes to our kind of surveys, we are very precise and we go through every extent to make sure that what we are bringing up is right. It's right.
Okay. Does Mr. Andy Wilson or Eric Akumia want to, get into this matter of wrong mapping?
Yeah, again, it's about starting with the users. So the accuracy of mapping is very much driven by different users, and certainly in the UK and other global countries we've worked in, we always start with what's the use of this data going to be for? So the gentleman from the Ghana Highways Agencies just talked about a very precise measurement, and of course there are surveying technologies that can get you down to that very precise 1 centimetre type accuracy level, but it can be quite expensive. So it's a case of choosing the best technology to achieve the best results. And I think what we've seen over the last 20 years is that accurate national mapping is becoming much more affordable. So with the advent of much better resolution coming from satellite technology, from aerial survey, from other high altitude vehicles, the reality of creating better quality, more up to date, more accurate national mapping is becoming a reality for many nations. There's been a lot of work done in that space to make that technology available to a lot of countries now. So it's about just matching the needs of the accuracy of the maps with the technology.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm going to take the last question from the gentleman.
Yeah, I hear you said that you are there to protect the interests of Ghanaians. Is that not what you made a statement like that? You are there to protect local contractors. You said something like that.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you there to protect the local contractor, or you are there to make sure that they really deliver good quality work, job for you?
Okay.
Because
Let
if
me
you
rephrase.
consider a lot of shoddy jobs around, do you have all these gadgets to really monitor, go and find out before you sign the check? You say, okay, I'll pay you for the work.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
what you call thorough monitoring and make sure that what the person has done meets up to your expectation and
Thank-
it is the value for money.
Thank you. I think maybe with the question you're asking, or maybe I didn't say
You
well.
send it to everybody.
Yes, I
here.
said that
Yeah.
at highways, we are there to protect our local people.
Why?
Not contractors. I didn't mean
Local
contractors.
people, why?
I meant we are there as public servants, and every money that's given to us
Uh-huh.
to be given to the contractors, we have to make sure that the value for it is achieved.
Okay.
That is why we are going to the extent of deploying geospatial technology
Okay.
to be sure that whatever information they are bringing to us has been tested and verified. So sorry if there was a miscommunication.
But
right
all these shoddy jobs, work that we've seen, even the foreigners in the country, I can tell you, do you know the road from Michel Cap to passing through Saki to, the barrier? That road has been constructed 2 times. And if you go there, go and see what is there. Everybody, what they are saying about that very road, you know that that is money lost. If it were your own money, will you spend it like that?
Okay.
You have to economize it very when you make sure that the work is well done. And if you are using a brand new car on that very road, within 3 months' time, you know how much you are going to use to maintain that car?
Okay, I think we're going to keep this very cordial. We have just a few seconds before we close this session. But thank you very much for these questions. I believe they were all answered. So I'm going to say again, thank you to our 3 speakers. May you please walk off the stage, and a very good evening or good night to all of you here. Remember, tomorrow we also have plenary sessions. It starts at 9:30. Please be seated tomorrow at 9:20 if you can, so we can start on time. It's going to be the last day of the African Geospatial Data and Internet Conference here in Accra. It's a pleasure to have you all. This is Angela Ikuasanti, aka Triple A. Again, good evening.